the second book I wrote is called Chasing My Northern Lights. And that book is about a 7th-month off-roading trip, overlanding trip, off-roading trip I took in the winter. I left in September and came back in April. And myself and my dog, right? The objective was to cross-country Canada, so going up to Quebec and then working our way through Ontario, Manitoba, Saskatchewan, so on and so on. And when we hit the BC, go north into Yukon and then up to Alaska. And spent some time there and then come back. And when I came back down, not through the same path I did going up when I hit BC, but I came to a point where we went to the interior and used the BC ferry system to come down so I could see the interior passage. You're familiar with that, right? And saved myself a ton of time, but it was starting to snow like a son of a gun. And I had my fair share of close calls. When I was up in Alaska, the winter up there, the air is so friggin' dry. And it was so dry that I started having nosebleeds. And because I'm on blood thinners, it was hemorrhaging. And there's no amount of, I hate to say it, but I had to put a tampon on my nose, right? So that, because I was out remote to stop the bleeding, but it didn't. It just kept on bleeding. So I had to come back into Palmer and go to a hospital where they cauterized it. But that was part of the allure, right? Of being remote, where you're the only guy on this road. And I remember being on the this is called the Casare Highway, and it starts in the Yukon, then shoots west along BC and shoots you up to Prince Rupert, which is where the ferry system that I was taking was going to take me down south. I took a week driving that highway, and Ray, if I saw 2 other trucks in that week, that was it. And but on the other side of the coin, I saw my fair share. I mean, I saw a tree full of bald eagles, full. I mean, there must have been 8 or 9 hanging out. And it's like, I mean, it's one. If you see one, that's kind of like a big deal. There were a ton of them, and they're coming down. Oh, and I remember being in a lake, trumpet swans, right? This is in Alaska. I'm camping at a lake, and they're there, beautiful creatures. But then it was amazing. They would practice their takeoffs. They'd go up, do some aerobatic things, and then come land. And then the next one would come and do it and try and outdo the guy that just did it. And then another, I sat here for a good 45 minutes watching these swans just go up, do amazing things, and come back. And it was almost like, tag, you're it. You go do something better, right? It was fascinating. And then one other story. I'm in a little town called Terrace, BC. And it was just before I got over to Prince Rupert. And my dog Dex was needing to go for a walk to to relieve herself. And there was this island called Ferry Island that was a hiker's space. And the person in the visitor center suggested I go over there. She says, you'll be amazed. It's a pretty interesting place. So, okay, well, how interesting can a trail on the water be? And so we went. Now, I know we've all experienced this, but I'm walking in this woods. It's about 4 o'clock, right? And I get the sense that there's someone looking at me, right? Looking at me. And I'm looking, I can't find anything. And I sit, I lean next to a tree, and got that feeling. I'm looking around, and then I see a carving in a tree. It was a face, right? Then I back up and go back to the other place I felt it. There's another face. So apparently there's this guy whose name is Roy Goyette. He's a wood carver in Terrace. He's been there for 25 years. And his passion is to go into the woods and create these faces or series of chalets, carved into the bark, right? And it's like, and then all of a sudden, now you're off searching for him. Saying, oh, where's that one? Oh, that was good. It was amazing. It was amazing. And then when I walked out, I noticed that there was a sign that says, you may seem that you're being watched, and you are.